Okay, so welcome everyone to into this discussion today where we have been invited one of the renewed professional and the career coach, Mr. Rahul Guha, and he has been established many venture for as in the career he has been started, so that we are going to discuss. And further there are certain questions from the community and who are into the mid career now as an HR professional, how they can possibly to create their the growth mindset for the future that we are going to discuss. So first, as are we have the specific set of the criteria how we go forward with this session. So the first 10 minutes I am taking, and then the 40 minutes we are going for the question and answer session with Mr. Rahul, and then third there is the 10 minute of question and answer for the our community as well as who are joining us live into this today's session. So let me now share with you the screen and what we have been kept for you here, and then we are alongside going to the next, that is about the question and answers. So welcome you again into this today's special session with our community, and this is one of the People Manager magazine, the learning initiative where we are invite one of the renowned thought leader, so that you can learn with the expert what they have been, what are their success journey, as well as how they are going to help you into your career. Either it is your workplace, it is your after workplace, or where you are looking as in the growth. Why it is all? It is about we are creating a community of the 100 million HR professional globally to empowering them become the agile indispensable HR professional which we have been seeing after the COVID and the pandemic. So today we are going to discuss about the mid-career trajectory for the human resources professional and designing their own trajectory and building the growth mindset what they can do, which is the most probably the challenging task for the HR professional who are into the mid-career, and that is especially why where the expectation of the different generation you are dealing with as in the a bridge for the people as well as the management. So there, and as I shared with the Rahul Goy is the director of the Talent Sphere Partner and many other the venture he has been established, and as in the thought leader, as in the career guide and the mentor who has been mentor around the 500 HR professionals who are into the senior positions and developing their mindset for the future, so that we are going to deep with him how it is going to help you. So far there are around the 50 number of the participants in the different platform has been gone live here. So when it is come to as part of the mid career, so that is some dilemma the HR professional may have. However, it does not mean only the HR professional, because we are into the domain of HR professionals, so that's why, and our niche is especially focusing on the human resource professional. So in that case our area and focus is especially for the human resources. So mid-career trajectory does not only for the HR professional, it for the everyone. So everyone can learn from this session today. So when we are going to the focusing on the certain issues the HR professional faces, where they cannot match with what they are exactly doing on the job, what they have been, or what they are looking for their future, they are strengthening their future, what they had to do. So in that case where the people feel the stagnant in their career, so that point we are going to be discussing, and the mid-career risk which are facing and how you can resolve these and helping yourself to be a successful professional into your career and domain you have been. So as I've been shared, we as in the People Manager Human Resource the magazine, we are helping as the beginning I have been shared with our this community we have been established especially to connecting with the and empowering the 100 million HR professional by 2040 globally. This is our global mission for 2040, which has been we have been developed the two platforms. One is the People Manager HR magazine, which is helping you into the day-to-day issue what is happening globally into the platform of the in the domain of human resources, and secondly we also providing the use separately the mentoring guide through the People Manager Academy as well. My name is Veera Rasingvi and I am the editor-in-chief for the People Manager Human the magazine, and we have been created this roadmap for becoming a successful human resource leader. Now question it come to the how you can do it. So we have been listed out the certain areas how we are empowering the 100 million people by 2040. First, we create the highly impactful the events for the HR professional. It is one of the event which is going to happen. So it is empowering you to Be you ready for the future, what the challenges may be coming to your way, how you can resolve that. Secondly, we have the quarterly based conferences for the concurrent issues what may be have. Earlier we have been done one a successful conference of the HR tech and the talent, how you can empower your talent and especially making it as then the resource for your organization when you are the bridge for the management and employee. These conferences are going to help you into the concurrent issues where we invited the renowned HR professional thought leader so that you can learn with them. Then we have been the provision of the workshops where we give you the practical knowledge into the 2 or 3 hours of the workshops. Then we have the courses landed on the People Manager Academy. We have the magazine which we publish on the daily basis. The updates is going to happen weekly basis, and then the monthly basis we have the popular magazine as of now. And then we have the mentorship program which we are launching very soon. So far we would be into the People Manager HR network as in the 100 million we are launching them. Then this year we have been also launched the People Manager Award 2040. These award we are specially identifying the influential HR leader who has been done something into the area, because when you are going for the HR awards there you have to spend much more money. Either it may be for around 10 minimum 10,000 rupees to going for the lakhs for. Here into as in the People Manager community it is free. So this is the opportunity as in the People Manager Human Resource the magazine. We have been the established this platform to bringing your innovation you have been done into, or the success journey accomplishment you have been done. So we are bringing that to the globe with our community as of now. We have the 36,000 HR professional into our community on the different platforms, where so far we have been just 1.5 year cross. We started People Manager HR magazine in 2022 November. So, and there we have crossed the 36,000 HR professional on the different platforms. This, your success story is going to there. Next, as I did previously, I have been shared with, we have been conducting one successful conference, and that conference with the alignment of our this year 2024, the theme, the art of possible, which is designing for the inconventional times, so that we are helping and empowering. How we can do it? That is through empowering the HR professionals, sharing their knowledge. So we, as in the platform, establish this. Here are some the expert who had been the part of this conference and making a successful conference, where we have been the keynote speaker, CHRO panels and the CXO panels we have been conducted. Then on the June we are going to be cover of another conference, that is on the conference and the People Manager conference of the Engage 2024, where we are focusing on the employee well-being at workplace, the diversity and inclusion, as well as the people engagement, how you can ensure into your organization. Soon we are opening the registration for that. When it is come to as part of the platform, we have been the created the People Manager. How we are going to especially empowering the HR professional, we are focusing on how HR professional can help the organization to grow their business, because the people are the fourth most important pillar of the business. So that's why it is your role how you can nurture the workforce of your organization to create, then develop them as the real human resource asset for the organization, not in liabilities. Then this we are into the era of the tech, and how the future tech are evolving, and how you can be updated with them and you can leverage them for your career growth and your organizational growth. Then there are the tech also, which is creating the impacts today and the tomorrow, so that we are also bringing that to you and making you ready and preparing you for the velocity shift into your career, as well as the business changes is going to be happen. Then after, as I've been shared, we have also launched the awards of the 2024, where we are first going to especially award the 100 HR professional who has been done something into their career. So that is for the community. You just have to go to our community and be of the part of our community, and then you will be into this the award for 2024. Then the mentorship program we are going to be started soon. We are going to be covered as in the 100 members into the People Manager HR network. So maybe by July or mid-June, we are possibly to going to start this mentorship program, where we are focusing on the particularly the areas where maximum CHRs fail. As in the strategic role, designing of the strategy, sitting into the boardroom, it may be little bit easy, but where the CHR face the issue, that is what the strategy you have been develop and reaching into the maturity level, that is one of the key problem. So that's why we come with the new technique which is called as the radar technique, which we have been designed with our experts. And this radar techniques is focusing on the certain area, especially mentoring you. We are inviting the multiple the HR professional and thought leaders who has been worked very successfully as in the CHRs in the organization as the HR leader. There you are learning with them what are the problems you are going to face, and they are mentoring you into this mentorship program, basically based on the issues you are facing in your organization. So that is also one of the learning opportunity. Then how you can become the part of community. So we have the mentorship, that the membership program for the people manager human resource network, HR network especially, where you can go for the 1 year membership, 5 year membership, and the lifetime membership. So detail may already been with you, or otherwise our team has been shared with you, or it will be shared with you by tomorrow morning, when the thank you mail will come to you. So now let's here go forward and invite Mr. Rahul. So Mr. Rahul, kindly open your screen here.
I'm
So
there.
thank you so much, and for giving your time for this today's session. And it is also one of the important session for HR professional, where around 60% of the HR professional, they are facing challenging into their mid career. So that's why when we given the name to it as in the mid career trajectory, to especially preparing themselves for their future and developing and the future growth. So now here, Mr. Rahul, to first I personally welcome you here into this the community meet, as well the community building the activity by the People Manager
Thank you.
HR magazine. So please just elaborate about the people steering your success story as in the mentor for the senior leader, how you are helping them, and then we are going for the community questions we have been arranged for this today's discussion.
Hi, great. Thank you for inviting me here and giving me this platform to share my story with all of you. Hi, I'm Rahul Guha. I'm a career coach, especially I coach mid-career professionals. And I'm also the founder of a company called Talent Steer. Talent Steer Partners is actually an executive search firm, and we service mostly the services companies. And I've been with corporates for a very long time. I mean, it's been now 27 years. 3 years back, I decided to drop my robe off as a corporate leader and start off my own as a founder and entrepreneur. Right? I've been worked so long in corporates, and I also did two startups in between in my whole career of 27 years. One of that is really flourished well, another did not. So I went back to the corporate job. So there was twice I have gone out of my corporate job and then came back. But trust me, in my these 27 years and seven jobs, I realized that I only look for job twice. And rest of the time companies called me. So that has actually given me a thought that if I can really I thought of it when I post COVID, when I came out of the corporate jobs, and I started thinking, what did I do right? And how do I structure the strategies that others can also use, which took me 27 years? Can I squeeze that strategies into, say, 90 days, 1 year, 1.5 years kind of a stage where somebody can really leap in the career? Right, that was my whole idea of coming up with an organization called Curate Scope Career Academy. It's perhaps the only uh, career academy in India who talks about freedom, money, and growth. Rest of the people are generally into learning. You don't get these learnings from your management schools, right? They can build your skills on certain factors which can help you in the job, but they doesn't tell you that how to get a job or how to grow in life, how to plan a career. So that part is completely missing. I always say it's a unconventional studies one need to do. We are anyway a lifelong learner. You have to learn several things. This is a skill which for 2024 beyond, I think, is a very important skill. Today we need to learn it. And that's how my these two organizations work hand in hand. and I've coached several people now in the mid senior level. So that's it. I'm based in Delhi, and I have bases in Mumbai and Bangalore as well, where my colleagues work. So that's how we operate, mostly online space. So we can cater any employee from any geographies.
Yeah, great, great. Thank you, Mr. Rao. So, when we say about, especially, we are into the niche of, as you have been 27-year experience into the human resources only, and working for the multinational organization, 500 Fortune companies. So, you have been seeing the many areas of the career of the human resources. What happens now? It is the area where the human resources are facing with the generations, so managing with the generation and mitigating with the challenges of the human resources. So now first I want to know about, and our community also want to know about, that, especially what is the importance of that designing one's career trajectory, especially for the human resources, and why?
See, I'll make it a little generic. I mean, although we are a HR group here, therefore we're talking HR, but this strategies plans goes for anybody in the industry. That way, right? More so, I'll give you my personal experience when I did my management and this law, and then started with my first job. So I realized one thing, that we've already told that HR is more into transactions, and this is a, you're burning cash actually. You're not profit earner for the company. So you are a support department. So that is how things have started. Uh, Cutting the long story short, HR has, there were a lot of transition which has happened within HR. And in terms of deliveries, in terms of expectations from HR, in terms of how HR partner with business and all those stuff, right? Now, for any HR professional, as I see that, one need to have a plan, that how do you reach from X place to the Y place. So making it simply, like you're going somewhere from your home to a particular destination, which might take you in generally in public transport 1 hour. You're running late, so then you have to plan that how do you go there fast, right? So first thing is, you need to know that where you're going to go. Two, you need to know that what is the purpose of going there. Are you going to watch a movie, or are you meeting a doctor, or meeting a friend, or you have a party to attend, right? So the urgency will differ accordingly. If you go to meet a doctor, let me tell you, you don't want to miss the appointment. You will be more rather concerned about the time, right? Going for a party, 15 minutes here and there still works. Okay, then you decide, depending on that what, how you going to go. You take a Ola, Uber, you take a public transport, or you have to decide how you want to go, right? So the point is that this destination factor, all of us understand. Career path is something like that. The only thing is, we really do not know that where we're going to reach in this, that this perennial question, like in interviews people ask, where do you see yourself in next 5 years? So basically, career trajectory is linked with that. You have to define that where you want to go. Most of us don't know this. So I'll start from there. So if you really know it, that where you want to go, and that requires a lot of self-assessment, a lot of revelation, asking question to yourself, where you want to go, how much risk you can take, all those stuff. Like I tell you, when in my career, when after this 24th year, I decided that I will do something of my own. I'll start my entrepreneurial journey. That is also part of my career trajectory. When I took this call, let me tell you, I have to do a lot of brainstorming. I could not decide what to do and where do I, but I had something in mind. I had a value in mind, like I want to do something of my own, was something which definitely there in my mind. I wanted to drive a millionaire dream, that was my mind, right? I wanted to help out 1 million people, that is in my mind. So those things are there. That defines my destination, right? But how I want to reach there, that needs lot of ideation. So I feel every HR guy need to do this ideation, back it up, make a plan to do that, right? Because I see for the organizations, we do everything, right? When there is a target of doing something, employee survey or some meeting is going to happen. I mean, I'm talking about annual day kind of a meet, or employee appraisal process is starting at in April or something like that. So all of us jump in and we are all have deadlines. But for us, our own purpose, we never keep a deadline, nor we have a plan. We keep the steering in the hands of the boss. Whatever way the boss used to run us, we run like that. So that is what is the common fate of everyone. I'm not typically mentioning. So therefore, I feel having a career trajectory, defining the goal, how to reach the goal, and where do you want to reach, and what will you gain. This ideation is required, and definition need to be clear in your mind.
Definitely. Fantastic, Mr. Rao. So when we talk about the trajectory, it does not mean you are moving out from your regular career to the other. It means if we are working as an the HR professional in organization, we have to focus on the, especially the actions what we have to take. Accordingly, we have to be planned. Similarly, it is happening for when it is about the knowledge we gain. So when we have to move into our career, what are goals? Everyone who is joining the job, they have the certain goals. So in that goals, your trajectory, the path which has been suggested in Mr. Rahul here, that is going to be work for you. You have to be learn. You have to be growing your organization. So that's why you have to learn your business. You have to learn the people. Then you have to be go deep. What you have to do, the strategy. You have to make the pathway. You have to make the plan. So without that way of thinking, you cannot build your mind. So that is called as the growth mindset. So when we have been understand Mr. Rahul it fully, next it come that now the how can HR professional now cultivate the growth mindset to navigate the mid career trajectory which we are discussing.
So I'll tell you something. Uh, like there are certain mindset we all have, right? Now if you ask anybody in this world, even your office boy, you ask what you want in life. He said, I need a home, I need 2 acres of land in my home, I need 50,000 rupees as salary. So there are certain elements in life which is already there in your mind. It is earmarked, right? So that we get it from our upbringing. We get it from, some people will say that I am happy with what I am earning, right? So these are called fixed mindset. So basically this growth mindset came from Carol Dweck. There was a psychologist who actually has studied on this, and she coined this term. But this term has a charm, that what happens that uh, there are few elements of growth mindset which is very important, which I feel every employee should adopt. Now there is a thing called, which was there, now people are not talking about that too much. It is called entrepreneurial employee. You're an employee, but you have an entrepreneurial spirit. I've seen people who in the company, I'm sure you'll connect with me here, seen people, any risky job, new project, you have to go to a distant destination away from your home for 6 months, always been called to one guy. Wherever I have worked, I've seen there's one or other guys who will be called as a isko de do kam. This guy is going to do this job, right? So this guy becomes a favorite and he delivers on that particular job. So is that guy different from us? No. The same guy, like with same gray matter, same strength. Now the point is that individuals can take challenges, they take risk. The point is how many of us can take that risk. Most of the cases we can't take the risk, it's not possible, right? Even when I took my entrepreneurial journey, let me take you from my end, or I left Calcutta and shifted to Delhi for my job. I came without a job because I know people are not giving me the job sitting at Calcutta, since I don't have an address in Delhi. So you have to take a risk, because I know going to a larger city, growing city, you have more career prospects, so you have to take a risk on that. Same way, there are certain people who take risk. First thing is growth mindset, which I strongly believe is that how much challenge you can take and how much risk you can take. Second element is important, is persistent. We think a lot, we are all thinkers. Like we will do exercise every morning, we decide, right? We change our eating habits. I will shed 10 kilos. All this stuff is very fine, but we are not persistent. You take a gym membership, you go there for 10 days, 15 days, and someday you have so much tired from work that in morning you can't wake up. So you're not persistent on many matters. Let's accept that particular fact. All humans are like that. So since we do not be remain persistent, we don't absorb things in ourselves. So it is said that scientifically proven, if you do some action for 21 days, you built an habit. Even I tell you, reading books, many of you, accept that fact. When I was in job, I also did not do it regularly. I used to read, but not at that level, right? Which I do now. We don't read. So if you keep reading for 21 days, you inculcate it as a habit. So these are the factors, as I told you, that being remain persistent, taking risk, learning from your mistakes and learning from criticism. Most of the people take criticism so hard, like, Dekho, how did he speak to me like this, right? But that was a fact. Even I remember in my organization in last MNC where I worked, we used to talk about that difficult discussions. The difficult discussions one need to absorb, right? And that's how you have to speak. You have to say that what are the difficult discussion, how you encounter, you learn out of it. That is important. So if you keep doing all those stuff now, you take risk, you learn more through reading, through practicing, and you become persistent. You build that growth mindset. It will happen automatically. You don't have to put an extra effort to do it, but automatically you have that mindset. You know what to do next in terms of your life and career growth.
Yes, definitely. So Prashant is saying he taken the risk and going for the journalist to one unit of the field. Okay, so it is fantastic because when we had to make ready for the future, when we talk about the unconventional time, how we can move it and how we can especially be more agile, so that we have to be take the risk. So that's why in an organization where the Mr. Rahul has been said, so the people organization are looking for who have the entrepreneurial spirit inside of the organization. And secondly, earlier it was said as the sportsman spirit. Why it is? Because always organization are looking for those people who can continuously, consistently that focus on or either do their activities and actions of what they had to do for the organizations or which is expected from them. However, when it come to the human resources, you have to design their your the KRAs, but in that KRAs, can anyone or your goals of the annual whatever based on the organization goal, can they have to be consistent to that, so that at the end where we have been completed the appraisal cycle for 2023, so in that case, their rating, their marking would be based on how consistent what they have been achieved, if it is not fully biased. So now I would ask Mr. Rahul that what strategies do you recommend for the human resource professionals to design their own career path?
See, in terms of strategies, if I really answer, there are few things one has to decide for themselves. Number one thing which I'll say that we actually lose out to build our skills. Honestly, now we are talking about AI today, and I was listening to one video that day. The guy was saying that AI is so becoming intelligent. I'm talking about generative AI. They can now decide and they can now think like humans, right? Practically, like if you even use ChatGPT, I see that last 6 months how ChatGPT has improved and the way they have changed the how they answer today, right? This is going to come, but we have to outsmart ourselves on that. We should use AI to help us to be more efficient. How many of us is trying to do that? We make presentation, like all of us make presentations in offices, right? We present our data. How many of us ever used Canva to create a presentation? The way Canva can create presentation, there is no beat. PPTs are fail in front of them, right? There are many tools which you can use which can really smoothen your life. Even I'll tell you, Google has certain tools like we started using like Taskboard, which is a free tool. You can plan your day out of that. This will make you efficient. The first thing which I see that one need to learn and be adaptive. Remember, a guy is hired, anybody, I'm not talking generic for HR here. Guy is hired for his competence. In the interview, it is seen that how competent you are, right? How culturally fit you are. To an extent, I still don't believe that you can really map it in the interview. But the guy is sacked for the fitment because you lose out on the relevance. So to understand that how you remain relevant to the job, what is your market intelligence? The second point I'm telling you after building your skills, what is the market intelligence? We don't have the much market intelligence. We know nothing about the competitions. Let me tell you what kind of a steps they are taking, what projects they are working on, and how the market is evolving. There was a day we had pager, and suddenly the mobile phone came and pager's gone, isn't it? There was a day I remember we are fascinated about walkie-talkie. It was, college days, somebody has a walkie-talkie, you say, oh God, he's a rich guy and if dad has gifted this. Today, you you are completely virtual. You can click a button in your mobile and you can listen to a song and you can choose a song which you want to listen. Imagine the situation today. So the things have changed. So if you do not change yourself, knowing the market intelligence, that how things are moving on now. Say, I was reading on something like employee happiness quotient. It was not talked too much earlier. Now we are talking about employee happiness quotient. There are apps which are actually built in to map employee happiness. So do you really take interest on that? We talk about employee management. We talk about employee retention. Retention will come from where? Happiness is not that you have to make everybody happy. You have to see that how do you maintain the transparency. Can the guy speak about themselves? Can the guy, if a problem, can come out and tell you frankly, this is my issue? Can the guy express the, hey, I love to play guitar. Can I play guitar in the after the next meeting? Are you giving those liberties to people? No, boss, you're not. The problem is you're not become flexible to this, agile to the word you have just used, agile.
Yeah.
So flexibility, agility, being relevant is something you have to think that you have to build gradually. If you don't build, then gradually you will lose the charm, right? And you will become redundant, irrelevant. And some young guy will come someday. You're at a 40 lakhs, company will hire that guy at 25 lakhs, it will be replaced. Simply.
Yes.
So that's what I feel to stay relevant is the question one need to always hover and work on that.
Yes, definitely, Mr. Rao. When either it is for the jobs, also it is my any individual, the personal lives. If you are or we are not relevant to the job, what we had to do, we are not updated. So we would be replaced because the outdated things always replaced with the new one. So there are the multiple version are coming, so that is going to be replaced, even though the everyday the replacement is going to be happen. Similarly, we as in the human resource professional be ready for it. We had to be prepared ourselves. So when it is come to, we are focusing on the preparation of the human resources professional for their mid career trajectory. Then it come to that, could you elaborate on the role of the continuous learning and upskilling that is going to shape the one's career trajectory especially?
See, the problem is till the time we studied management. I remember you studied 10th, then you studied 12th, then you studied graduation. Because that till that time now your parents have funded you practically. The day your parents stopped funding you, you forget about that learning. You learn from your experience only. Nothing else. That's the problem. That's the difference. So you think the formal learning which you learn through books by or listening or being a forum like this or going for a LinkedIn learning course, right? Or even go for a short programs, say strategic mindset program by X university. You don't invest in that. Investment is not in money. LinkedIn learning don't take money that much, okay? But it takes your time because you don't have any plan or goal for learning. That's the first thing I should point out. I'm sure every company, even if you work on a Saturday, Sunday will be your off. I'm sure there will be a time you need to reach the office in the morning, 7 o'clock, you're off your own. If you want over a cup of tea, you can learn for 15 minutes. Nobody's harming you. Today there are blogs. I also write blogs. You can read my blogs in Medium or LinkedIn, where I write blogs generally within about 1,200 words. And reading time is 8 minutes. I especially see that my blogs are not more than 8 to 10 minutes reading. One can do it over a cup of a coffee in the morning. So I'll not put it I mean, glorify the whole actions by saying continuous learning. I will say you should not forget that when your papa stops spending the money for you, you start spending the money for yourself. Whatever little you can, and spend more of time than money and keep learning one thing or the other, of course, related to your field. I'm not saying that you are HR professional, suddenly you started learning gardening and horticulture. It will not help you in your career. It's something which is in line with your career. Learn that because now HR has become much, much more strategic than transactional. I'll put it that way. So have you built up those strategic mind? Do you understand that what strategy should come into play? You have to change your mindset for that. You have to come out of the transaction. The leave management and payroll, we are done with that now. There's been outsourced at this point. So how will you contribute in this? That's why you will learn. So therefore, continuous learning is very, very important. You keep a goal for that learning. That is my only point. Yes.
Great, fantastic, Mr. Rao. When it's come to the learning and upskilling, it does not mean spending money. It is about the time is most precious for the human resources when they had to move into their mid-career or when they had to grow as an the leader. Either you had to transit into the other phase of your careers too. So that's why whatever the time you have, don't waste that. Keep that for your learning because in the any type of bad situation what you have been learned into your free time that is going to help you for the future. Now come to the next when we have been discussed about the what HR had to do, what is the career the continuous learning, then it come about the the HR professional leverage their how their unique skill of and experience to advance in their career the growth.
The coming in, what do you say?
So it is about especially that the how can HR professional leverage their unique skill and
Okay.
experience to advance their career when we are
Okay.
talking about the mid-career trajectory.
Very interesting question. Now, when I coach, I'll tell you, uh, I have a common agenda. I tell the guy who I coach, most of the people who come to me is they look for job, right? And they need the job immediately, right? So that is one thing. And then I take them forward in their career with my community. I give them continuous learning and all those stuff is a different story. But there should be always a purpose for approaching a coach or investing on something, right? So mostly that is for getting a job. Like I tell you, this I learned from marketing, right? One thing is said that you should have one niche and a micro niche. HR is your niche, right? A specialization. In other words, specialization. So you need to have a micro niche in that because today, HR is now uh, formed into different SBUs or segments within HR, right? One is talent acquisition. Now we call it shared services, right? We call it, total rewards, right? There is a compensation and benefit. So if you really see, I can list down, there will be 10 different departments within HR. These are all micro niche. So within that niche, what you can do is most important for you. So people do not pinpoint there. Most of the cases, people feel that if I talk like, I know everything, sir, you fit me in, I'll be able to deliver you on anything. There's a word called generalist HR, right? Generalist has gone now. You have to come out of that mindset of generalist. You got to be a specialist, then only you'll be hired, right? So like for myself, towards the last 10, 12 years in my professional career, I always say I partnered the business. Now we use a term called HRBP, business partnering. Now, people don't understand what does this partnering mean. You have to understand that business you are into, and you cannot know different businesses. You have to specialize in one business. So if you're in a software IT, we work for BFSI, so you will only know that business. I worked in facilities management. I know facilities management business as a back of my heart. I can also talk equally like my operations head or a CEO. So that is where your specialization comes. And out of that, what you can deliver, it should be a micro niche. My niche is I turned HR from a cost center to a profit center. I earned in the year which I left before COVID, I earned 80 lakhs of revenue for the company through government schemes. I earned, and I got that money, right? We used to get incentives for this. So how you're positioning your skills, like your one skill could be restricting the attritions in the company. These are typical problem of HR. People coming and going. How will you do that? But everything you do, one has to have some metrics to prove. Like business has metrics, right? If you say that we'll grow by 10% this year, so there are a lot of metrics which can drive and tell you that yes, you've grown by 10%. Most of the HR actions are never formalized through metrics. So there will be a conflict. So operator will come and tell you, hey, this HR guy is not working. बोला था एक बंदा लाने के लिए, could not hire, right? Somebody will come and say that, see the attrition rate, you're burning money. HR is burning money. So the problem is, if you do not put it in the table before everyone, this is how you're delivering, then a value is eroded, right? So if you have one niche, you have to see within that niche, how do you quantify your actions, right? And that is how you remain relevant, and you build up your niche and build up your personal brand from there. Then people will look at you, recognize you, and come back and interested to hire you. That is the trick I actually train people on, how to get in there. Hope I answered your question.
Definitely, fantastic. So when it is come to that we had to grow, we had to become specialization, and especially as Rahul has said, it is about we have to focus on the micro niche. In HR, there are now especially the multiple in the sub functions we have been divided. When it's come earlier, the learning, development, safety, administrative, then now it has been divided the furthermore the reward and recognition, your payroll, also your time off is separately. But you must be specialized into that. Focus time on your niche activities, learn from that, become expert into that, so that you have to focus on the strategic way how you can partner the business, means what is your role actually into your organization to save their money, bring them some the solution of their problems, so that they can be trust on you, then it is driving your business. So at the end you can become the strategic partner for the businesses now. And there are also the data is always telling the truth. We can manipulate anything when we talk about data, so that can never be lied by anyone. So HR must be most importantly the data driven, which is the new terminology and abbreviate the people analytic, HR analytic, that are into the higher demand. But you have the lot of data. Every organization, from your punching till your appraisal till your day out, you have the lot of data. But how to utilize that, you have to learn that. That is your skill, that is your secret to be into your mid-area trajectory and move to the ladder of as a leader. So now come to the second point, that is now about what are the some common challenges which are faced by the HR professional in their mid-career, which we say as in the trajectory. So how can they overcome and your advices for the HR professionals?
See, if I really look at, there are many challenges. So if I really concise that how I see the challenges or segregate the challenges, uh, One challenge is redundancy, right? That is very much there, that uh, people do not realize it, but that is very much there with people, that you got to come out of this redundancy. You have to realize it. More importantly, you need to understand and realize, I'm getting redundant. People don't accept that fact. Let me tell you, if you really accept that fact, you do not, like you spoke about data, right? Data analytics is something becoming a weapon for every employee today, right? Every department rather. Okay, so if you do not understand data, you don't know how to operate. Simply, Excel has moved into Power BI now. It is moved into Tableau now. So if you do not know, are you learning it? And let me tell you, last 2 weeks back, I attended a program, a webinar for 2 hours, and that's a free program on Excel. People can also learn out of that, because you do not show the interest. If you show the interest, then you'll be able to learn, right? So you have to firstly come out of that redundancy, that what company expect, what they're going forward. If your company do not adopt that, also company do not need Power BI and data analytics, but still you need to learn, because you keep a market intelligence. You know your competition is using, your friends are using it, so therefore you need to learn that. That is important. That is number one. Second challenge, I would say that uh, people do not take risk. So because of not taking the risk, you will get lot of roles which is coming to. Roles have evolved now, right? So a lot of roles will come into you now, and you will not be able to deliver to those roles. Companies opening a branch in Vadodara and you are in Mumbai. You're on shift there because you have two kids, you have a depending mother, and you have a wife. So you take most priority of your home. This happens for the meeting. Do not take a risk there, or do not convince or be bold in taking your decisions to go to a higher role. Right? I've seen people who live much higher role, two step forward. I realized one thing, I'll tell you, in my career, you can maximum work in seven designations, seven levels, honestly. Start with an executive, then assistant manager, then AGM, DGM, and ultimately, end of your career, at the 55th year or 58th year, you will be a GM. Very difficult to be a VP also, let me tell you. Only way, if you don't jump the grades from manager to directly a GM, or senior manager to directly a GM or a AVP, you will not be able to sustain in the role. So therefore, it is important that these challenges need to be seen in a right light. Learning challenge, redundancy challenge, challenge of not taking the risk, but company is offering me. Those kind of a challenge actually make an employee stuck in the career. You will remain the same place. Still, you expect you'll have a 20% increment. Q by you're not doing anything for me. I can give you only 5% or 3%. Then companies start categorizing you, and one day the pink slip you come into that category. You don't realize you actually caved your path to be at that particular position. So you're not being a consistent learner. You never looked back and see what you need to build up within you, what kind of a risk you need to take. You create your ditch. Simple.
Yes, definitely, Mr. Rao. So when it is come to the challenges are everywhere for HR or the people and professional. Challenges would be all the way, but you have to be ready for that. How you can be ready for that? You have to be learn. You have to be take the challenges. You have to take the risk also. So when you are taking the risk, it does not mean what is going to be give the opportunities by the organization. You have to grab the opportunity. You have to create by yourself. You have to learn the new skills. You have to be updated with what is happening outside of your day-to-day jobs. What is going to be happen into the future of HR? This is coming. The AI. There are the new technologies are coming. So you have to be ready for that.
And more so breaking the
Yes.
comfort. We are in a comfortable stage. You have to break that comfort. That is more important here.
Yes. So because till then we are not moving out from our comforts, we cannot move or we cannot assure you the successful career trajectory. So now come to the next part, that is about the. Can you now share some case study or the personal experience related to designing the successful career trajectory?
very intriguing point. So I'll tell you few of 5 things which I followed in my career. I mean, these no rule book. You will not find in the Google University or YouTube University. This is my personal, and I'm very candid to share it. And let me tell you, when I was employed, I've been doing the job. I never knew that I am really doing this. But later on, when I came out of the job and tried to be a coach, then I pondered. I did a self-assessment and came down on these points. And I told you already, twice I did business. I moved out of the job, I did business, and I came back to the job when the business failed, or I came out as a promoter. One thing I always given a importance is the role and not the designation, which most of the people make a mistake. So what do you want to be? I want to be a general manager. I want to be a senior manager, right? They never talk about the role, that what is I'm going to deliver, what you're going to come back and ask me. I will look at that. Hell with the manager. When I my first job in 8th year, I became the HOD for a company called Polar Fan Polar Pharma. I'm sure many of you will remember that Polar Fan name. It was a very famous fan company that time. When I became on the 8th year on my career, right? I never thought that why am I a manager? I thought I'm being a HOD in that role. That's how I took a jump, right? That has really helped me. Let me tell you. Next jobs or more or less all HOD roles I did, right? Second thing which I'll tell you, I give importance very less to money. I give importance to money definitely. I'm not misquote here, but I give more importance to span of control. How much business I'm controlling, what in other words people call it influence. What influence will I have in the business? If I report to the MD of India or report to a CEO of a big large business of 1000 crore, and this I have a person who is in one of that 5 or 3 leadership team member, my span of control will be far greater than anybody else being a manager and giving that 50 lakhs salary, right? Third important change which I looked at is not the responsibility, but the accountability. How it is different? Responsibility is something which is given to you. JD, KRA, right? You have to do it. I never followed the JD, KRA. Trust me. I'm accountable for this job. If something need to be done, if I have to reduce the attrition. In my last job, let me tell you, I had 18,000 employees pan India, and our attrition, which was, give me a moment, 1 minute, huh? I just battery running out. Huh. Yes. So I had a challenge. Attrition was 76% annually. I reduced that attrition, overall attrition I'm talking about, to 26% in 9 months. It is
Great.
possible. But I took the accountability of reducing it. I did not just tried and boss, I'm trying, didn't happen. What do I do? I never done that. Okay. Second is I quickly moved out of transaction to strategy. You have to understand this. Most of the HR guys, I have no qualm to accept this, love keeping control on the payroll. Isn't it? Control on statutory. I know this, I'm doing this, I'm a great guy. All knowledge is with me, and people will come running at me. Come for a pay slip, I'll say, no, not now, come at 2 o'clock. I follow process. I moved more into strategy. I left that thing. I've outsourced those things majorly in my company. And last thing, I shred my comfort to take risk. I want to be CEO of a company. Let me tell you, that was my dream. If you look at my goal, I wanted to be a CEO of a mid-sized company, being a HR guy. I followed Akhil Busrai. This guy has become a great guy and runs his own business now. Coca-Cola, he was really did a break. Wipro did a break. Now the point is, if I wanted to be a CEO, I need to learn procurement, marketing, finance. All those are key skills. So therefore, I did business to learn this, because being in HR, nobody will make you a finance manager. So if I do business, I have to learn this, otherwise I can't run the business. And we did it. I learned it. And this is my third stint in entrepreneurship. So I've been successful. These three principle, I gave importance to role. I gave importance to more on money than span of control or the influence. Third element was accountability. Fourth element was I become strategic. And fifth element, I took risk. If you take this live example of me talking here, you will certainly succeed.
Great, fantastic. The solution and advices you have been provided. It is most importantly, we do not have to be run behind the role, the position, the chair. It never matter. Whatever, sometimes the position is like and the senior manager, the general manager, but doing a job of the executive. What is the relevance of those jobs?
Yes.
What is the
Yes.
relevance? When it into the HR, we have to be move forward. So it means we have to focus on the accountability. What? The strategic accountability. What we can do, how we can. But what we are doing, it does not mean for the organization. At the end, it is about the learning. What learning I can get and how it is going to boost my career further, where I have to reach. Either I have to head the organization as in the board member for the organization as I'm the CHRO now, or otherwise I have to start my own. So then it come through the next one, where is it possible that the organization support their HR professionals in building a growth mindset and advancing their careers? So some input
Yeah,
you can.
definitely. Definitely. It is this something, it is a skill, honestly, building the growth mindset, and anybody can do it, I feel. Anybody can do it. If you really look at the business of MBA Chaiwala, right? Or if you look at a business of Oyo, where these promoters or these founders has worked, how many years? They're literally kids. But how did they build that business is my question. That's the growth mindset. You wanted to be there very clearly. So this is a skill which can definitely be built. Building this will require some effort from the organization end. If I do not know in this forum today how many people are there who are founders or senior leaders, but we are all live. Let me give this message to everyone. You have to trust your employees, right? And they can definitely grow. With the trust, you have to give them an opportunity of learning. That can happen through coaching, that can happen to attending some webinars or some programs which talks about growth mindset. If you don't give the feeder, don't expect to someday wake up and learn, oh God, I want to have that growth mindset. That cannot happen. You have to create the environment for it. Second, you have to trust the employee to play a role. How many times it happens that assistant manager, you're given the role of a manager or a general manager? How many times still they can
Yeah.
perform if they learned it? So that role play, you don't give it. New project comes, give it to a kid of 27 years old. I'm telling you, this guy will deliver. You have to give him that boost of delivering. This guy will do. The organization like GE, organization like Cognizant. No, sorry, not Cognizant. Um, there are some, I'm forgetting the name. There was another company I was studying. Accenture. Accenture is basically they thrived on getting listening to the young generations. Right? Kishore Biani's book, if you read that book, although his business is ruined now, but if he has a book, if you read that book, you will find that he has taken a lot of ideas from the young talents. So are we given this opportunity of a role play, the environment of learning, and and helping them to sustain and survive? These three things are important. If you give him a hopes away that he failed, so don't give him anything now. See, he failed. Failure is also a learning. He tried and he failed. So we don't see that part. If the organization look at build a culture around it, I feel that is more important. And culture is built from the top. It never happened. There is no formula to it. Let me tell you. I build the culture for my organization. If you do not think like that from the top, you cannot have it.
Definitely, of course. It is all like that. The your trust and opportunity is the secret ingredients for the business success, or either especially when the organization are facing trouble to getting the skilled talent, right talent for their organization. Till then, organizations are not providing the opportunity and trusting the people, they cannot get that the right kind of talent for their organization, which is one of the key ingredient for the organization they have to be promote into organization. So now what at the end that what advices you can give to the HR professionals who feel stuck in their mid career?
See, one thing is very clear. I told you that you have to aspire.
Definitely.
So generally people when they change job, or they all accept it that the market rate is 10% increment, 15% increment, 20% increment. If I change job, I'll get maximum 20% increment, so ask for it that way only. If I be with the organization, I'm okay with that 5%, 10%. That's a
Definitely.
compromise. That's a compromise. First thing I see, that if you don't create value, you create your value, you become gold. Then you can ask the price. Gold prices
Definitely.
goes up every day, right?
Yeah.
10 years it become triple, five times. So why can't you you set your price? So for that, very important to build your brand. There are
Yes.
millions of people in the same profession, let me tell you. As a HR guy, if you really call, I can tell you many people are there. Even if you search as a coach, you will career coach, you will find plenty of career coaches.
Yes.
Why people come to me? Because I'm different. I talk straight. I give them a clear strategy of to do this XYZ, and this is the elixir for for growth. So to every professional, be it HR or outside HR, you have to first exponentially set your goal. Simple. I have to grow double my salary. Number one, I have to improve the span of control from here or any other company. Doesn't matter. I was interviewing rather a sales guy in Bangalore. He told me one thing very, very interesting. He told me, sir, every year na, I decide for 2 years. That's it. This year I'm here. Next year where I'll be, and next to next year where I'll be. In terms of money, in terms of position, in terms of where I'll be. If I don't reach that stage, hell with the company, I'll find it somewhere else. So that kind of a determination, as I always say, that you dedicate your life, we dedicate our life for the company, isn't it? We don't look at the watch. Your boss goes, then you go out, most of the cases, right? You spend that 14 hours in the company. You sacrifice your family, your holidays, you're spending time with your kids grow up without seeing you. Let me tell you, in many cases, many professions and mid-career leave their family at a distant location and travel to some other place in a metro to work, right? You do a lot of sacrifices. There's a time at the mid-career to ask for a return. So if you do not define your return, what you're looking at, nobody's going to give you that. You have to ask for it. You have to prepare yourself so that people see you as a gold. And you can only do it by building your brand and telling people, hey, I can do this for you. Solve one problem of the company. I always say, solve one problem. Do not address many things. If I say, I will help you in your attrition management, I bring the attrition management 70% down in so much time. That is my niche, micro niche. Talk about that. In any profession, I mean, you can translate that into any other profession. But if you really do it, then you will be indispensable. You will certainly grow. You can bring in that growth mindset in you, and you will flourish. That's my guarantee.
Great, great,
Over to
great,
you.
fantastic. Yes. So when it has come to as part of you said as in the brand, so it does not means you have to build your brand, start your own. It is brand mean you have to build your skill brand. What the skill you know, what is your competency, what is you are the good into. Develop them as in the brand of your skills so that you can make them as in the money building. Just like as Mr. Rahul has been said, me the be as in the gold with your skill. That is the gold mine you have to create. Now we have that the gold mine, the mine chaining new concept is coming into the HR. So similarly, you have to be the gold and the pricing will always come. And similarly, you have to think on an year-on-year basis where you are looking forward. So this is all about the journeys, how the mid-career HR professional can be plan their mid-career trajectory into their further their life they are looking for, the career they are looking for. Finally, one question and your suggestion, that is about that what you think about the HR future, as in the career of HR future, and the growth mindset, how it is helping the HR professional to move on.
See, I see there is a very bright future for HR. Always it is. Uh, the way people do business, that has changed now very much. And post pandemic, I would say there was a leaps and bound change, which disruptive change, in other words, which we never thought of that is going to happen. Okay. Now we have to align ourselves with business priorities. Right? HR as a function I'm talking about, it could be multiple sub functions within it. But if HR focus on delivering to the business, managing the future of the business, like we call it a talent pipeline, many people just use it as a term, right? But how many of us really envision that this business can transform into what, and we create a similar talent pool with a futuristic approach? We don't do it, right? Does HR understand the business dynamics in terms of money? Which business can fetch you more money, better profit? Maybe the business you're doing now that is large, but they're not fetching you money, they're fetching you profit. You are living at that 4%, 3%, 2%. Then how HR can contribute the new channel of business so that they can survive and they can thrive on that particular business. So we have to now move on a little bit from that routine HR nomenclatures or actions which we do. We be more strategic in terms of managing the business. Imagine you're a CEO of the business. Then what do you expect from HR, right? So if you a CEO, most of the cases I see that people say that I need this person in 15 days, whatever said and done, isn't it? So how will you prepare yourself to get that talent in 15 days? Not anybody, everybody, the talent in 15 days is a question. I have a recruitment firm, and as I told you that it's a talent acquisition firm. So what happens, the mostly we deal with MNCs. The client we come to us, they say that I want this specific person, right? From the competition, they name the competition from this person. So if I start searching on that day, I'll never be able to close the position in next 15 days, even 30 days. We have to create that pipeline. Interestingly, through network, which I never told earlier, this word of network. If you don't do network, HR should do more of network. A network in terms of alumni, you have an opportunity to people to come back and join you. Okay. Network in terms of keeping touch with the competent people who delivers in the business. Even though this guy delivers, right? So that is how I feel HR should be more strategic, adopt technology, and have their own goals to support the business and flourish with the business. So they can stand together and say, we understand the pain of the business. It is not about that putting an argument, setting an argument with the business. The you guys are becoming unreasonable and unrealistic. We are setting a bad culture. It is not about that. We part with them and try to give a solution to a bigger problem. That's what I feel. We can't hear you.
Okay, so it is okay now. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
and it is a fantastic the discussion you have we have with you. And lastly, what the point you have been said, that is the network. So when as part of the human resources, network is the net worth for human resources now. When we are moving at the socialized environment, we are moving with the globalized environment, we are moving with the technology-based environment. HR can be more agile, more productive into the organization when you expand your network. So how you can do that? Similarly, we have the platform here, that is especially the part of as in the networking. Similarly, we are inviting like the senior expert as in the Rahul here. So This is also as a building the network. Similarly, the HR professional had to build the network where you can go beyond to your expectation of the organization. You can create the maximum pipeline. You can, if you are in the talent acquisition, you can hire the specific people into the specific time that has been expected by your CEO. Similarly, where as in the Mr. Rahul has been said, he is the expert into the career trajectory. He is providing you the talent. So whatever the solution possibly the HR can be, so there are the services like similarly the Mr. Rahul has been from the different platform that can leverage to us. So now it is the 10:14 around, and where we now had to be move further some community question and one two, then we are moving to the final. So here now we are open for the questions who are in the live on Zoom live. So if you have any questions, so kindly write in the chat box, or otherwise you can also come to the video or the audio the discussion also. If you have any question, only one and two question, because it is now the 10:16. Maybe next 3 minutes we have to be bind up. If no question, then just who has been registered for this session. So there one question which I'm picking here. So what are the some of the future the forward skills required to thrive as in the HR? So what types of the skills you can suggest for the HR professional, Mr. Rao?
So one skill though anyway in the top of my mind, which will make you more efficient, is learn technology. It could be anything, man. For your presentation, you can learn Canva. For your data analytics, you can learn Power BI or how to create a macro in Excel. It could be learning about how to manage your task to be more efficient. It is all about how to take. There are tools like Lighthouse where you can use for your lot of remote employees and know that how much they're working, when they're working. So be it any kind of a tool, my first approach would be to learn that tool. Second approach is learn few skills which is very much required. Like today, when I'm speaking to you, right? You have seen me talking. I use certain amount of pitch. I given a pause at some time. I use my hand gestures. It is something like a storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Storytelling is emerging as a very big skill. This is just an example. Strategic mindset is also strategic thinking, rather, is a skill. So there
Yes.
are many programs which happen on this. I learned storytelling from somewhere in UK. I as a zero cost, but that was a e-learning kind of a thing. But I did it. So there are many tools and there are many courses in LinkedIn Learning I've seen on storytelling or strategic thinking. You can certainly do that. So you have to basically define what you will learn, and then you have to implement that into your job. That is important. So public speaking, most of the people are fearful. They call them introvert, that I don't want to talk in public about myself, therefore I don't network. These are all
Yes.
bullshit. Let me tell you. If you don't beat your own drum, people will not know that you exist. So you got to beat your drum, you have to set your brand right, and you have to move it forward.
Yes, thank you so much. So here the another one question, and because we have only the 1 minute, so how HR professional can become more people oriented into this era of artificial intelligence?
See, artificial intelligence has nothing to do with people. Let me tell you. Artificial intelligence is something which can actually help you be more efficient. Understand that point, right? When you write blog, although I don't use too much, but I use Grammarly to check my grammar. It happens in a jet speed, let me tell you. Use Quillbot to sometimes change the paraphrases.
Yeah.
I can write a blog today in 2 hours, which I used to take before this era. I used to take 2 days. That is where you become efficient with artificial intelligence. But when you talk about a people oriented, people centric, that is absolutely there in 6 inches. How you look at people, you take them as a commodity or you take them as humans. Very simple. If you understand compassion, become compassionate about their problem, you show empathy, you be very focused that, okay, fine. Like in my company, I have an agenda of helping out women who come back from the sabbaticals. There are many women. Today, if you really see, UK is having a woman leadership workforce of 89% UK. Okay, you will find generally overall 40% of the woman in the leadership roles. Right? In your organization, do you drive that? Do you talk about diversity inclusion? No. Then you start thinking, operations, how a girl will handle. So you don't buy it, that idea. You never fight it with your boss or the operations leader, then you go for it. So that's how become people sensitive and people centric. There has nothing to do with AI anymore.
Yes, definitely. However, here I can add something. AI will give you the space to become more centric or having more sensitive with the people issues so that you can really become the people centric HR. Now, one more question which has been asked by Dr. Naipal Singh. So, he is asking about what are the mid career skills which are required from junior or beginner to mid level career to take as an HR professional to be expert or specialist.
So there are two part of it, doctor. One is that you said that what is a junior to mid career when you're doing a shift. Another is that mid career to a senior level professionals. How do you shift? So these two are completely different. I take it very into two angles. I must say. One is that when you transacting from a junior level to a mid career level, say for example, 3 years to 4 years, to you're getting into a say 6 to 7 year kind of a range. If you really look at there, you're moving from transaction to strategy gradually, as I told you. So to look for jobs for the skills which you require, you got to be more understanding the team management skills rather than doing it yourself. Silo role is getting over, right? So you do only ERAP in accounts, make entries in tally is over now. So you'll have a team member who's going to do this. You should learn how you manage the four team members sitting in four different locations or four different geographies, right? So that kind of a skill you have to get in. When you talk about a mid-career to senior level, when you start managing an organization and people are dependent on you at that stage, you got to be more sharper in terms of your strategic skills, right? More on strategic skills. Your decision will be make or break. Understand this, whatever. And like for example, one skill I'll tell you, most of the people in the leadership has to be collaborative, not a my way or highway. So that skill need to be adopted. There are many people who by attitude a my way or highway. They have to be collaborative. You have to learn the skill of becoming collaborative. So that's how you have to, these are called transferable skills. This is important skills which can definitely be adopted, can be learned. If you know something, and you can definitely learn it. Hope I answered the question.
Yes, of course, definitely. And it is now the 22:24. Thank you so much for giving it. There is one small question by the Prashant Ghagre. So that is just some example of the strategic HR. However, here is my submission for Prashant. We are coming up with one of the workshop, 2 and 3 hours of workshop soon, maybe next week, especially on this the strategic planning and strategic action. So before that, this question for just to highlight 1 and 2 example of the strategic example into the HR.
See, strategic HR is nothing but when you help the business to remain uh, more objective, right? So how it happens? See, for example, strategic HR. Say, if I put it very simply, right, you address certain organizational problems. Okay, problems could now exist or must be brewing. You don't understand that. One problem, say example, is attrition, as I told you, right? You do not have attrition now, or you have attrition. You have seen this attrition is gradually growing, right? What strategies you can inbuilt here? Think very simply. Don't think the strategic HR is something very big. Go by the problem solving abilities, or develop your problem solving abilities to understand what strategies you can bring in to arrest attrition, right? What strategies you can bring in to build the talent pipeline. Think simply, what is your problem, and what strategies are the plan and the actions which you define, which can be followed to get a certain objective met. So we have to basically do that. there is nothing, I think, bookish on this part. You got to be very, very clear on the problem and have that solution to it and have the path towards it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rahul. So I can just reconnect the beginning we have been discussed. We have to go to the doctors, we have to go there with the traffic. Similarly, when we go for the strategies, so when we have go to the doctor is far away, we have the multiple ways are there, roads are there. One has the
Yes.
traffic, second has the raining. So in between, what are the hurdle are there? How we have to overcome? That is your strategic. So strategy you are preparing how early, what is the time you have to reach that, how you can reduce that time and you can get the job done. That is your strategic action. Now you are taking. You are now starting in between what can be happen. There may be some the other vehicle are coming. There are some thing is crossing it there that there may be two traffic lights. So that may be for the longer time. So that is your action as well as the strategies that can be defined.
Building
So thank you.
alternatives as well. Building alternatives.
Yes, yes. So that is a plan B, plan A. You can decide through your strategies. So thank you so much, Mr. Rahul, as I
Thank you.
can say it as and the coach Rahul at the end. So he has the experience into the people mid-career HR professional developing them for their next move. He has also the solution for the organization to providing the trajectory as well as the talent solution. So we will share the detail of Mr. Coach Rahul with all the our community so that you can connect directly to Mr. Rahul to get all that advices. It is now the 1.5 hour we are spending with him. We are very grateful to giving this time for us in the very late evening, and it is like coming to us in the night sleeping time. So thank you so much for giving your
Thank
great
you.
time
Thank
to
you.
us.
I'm really
And
humbled that all of you
yes,
listened to me for so long and having that patience. I hope it can contribute to your life in a right way. You can always connect me or Google me as Coach Rahul Guha. I'm sure you'll get me. Okay.
definitely,
Thank you.
definitely.
Okay.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, Mr. Rahul. Thank you so much giving your
Thank you.
time, and good night, everyone,
We are
for
logging
giving your
out.
time. Yes.